Good morning, guys. Welcome aboard to the morning. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of GAR Capital. It is Thursday, February 15th, 2024. Glad to be with you this morning and every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the YouTube channel. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We're trying to get to 10,000 subs by the end of the year. That would really appreciate it if you can share these videos with anyone you think would enjoy them. Again, the YouTube channel will always be free. Question and answers, ready to go. Let's do it. Let's get started on the market. All right. Futures. Dow is up 64 points. The Nasdaq's up 14. S&P up 0.10%. We were higher a little earlier post the retail sales number. The Russell is up at 0.88%. 10-year Treasury yields 4.207. I want to show you guys something rather quickly. We talked about this on Tuesday after the CPI flush that we saw. We looked at 10-year Treasury yields, right? And I said, be careful. Let's prepare for going short here. You're hitting your head on resistance right around the 100-day moving average on 10-year Treasury yields, TNX. So just move this decimal over here, 4.207. That's what you're looking for. So with that being said, that rejection here means that we're setting up for more upside in stocks. Again, if yields come down so far, at least the runway is clear. The dollar index rejected 105 rather cleanly, coming back down to the 100-day moving average. We need a little more room down so stocks can go higher. So there's the dollar and there's yields. And here we are. S&P 500 just 40 points away from all-time highs. But Tuesday was an absolute disaster. Don't you remember? The market was going to tank. We're completely screwed. It's over. And yep, nice little bounce. Doesn't mean that we can't get pullbacks, but it's just not enough as of yet, team. Let's answer some questions here. Netflix from Jeff. I have an alert here at 581 and a quarter. The problem is it's getting rather expensive. So, temper your expectations or you may have to buy OTM calls if you're writing this up. It's just an expensive one. So if we break this down on a weekly basis, 585, you have up to 700 next. That's really your main target. That's the all-time high. So Netflix still has more to go, but it needs to get above 585 to get into this zone. Again, you can see the Fibonacci retracements. How sustainable is SMCI? RSI is like 95. SMCI is basically looking like what Bitcoin looks like sometimes. It's not sustainable. That's a fact. Where it could go, nobody knows. We do know that these semiconductor names are absolutely on fire. Now trading at 934.50. Let's go to the hourly chart and you're going to see it just continues up. Guys, you're going to get a pullback. I hate to be that bearer of bad news. The hard part is timing it. And again, people are going to take profit. It's just the reality. Doesn't mean SMCI is crappy. It's just this is just a parabolic move. We have seen these so many times. And what happens? They always pull back. Now, the question is how much and by when? And if you can nail that, well, you deserve all the profits you get, but it's a tough one. You are really fighting the current if you really want to go short here. God knows what the cost is to buy puts here. There is a gap to fill at 800. So to me, what I'm looking for a pullback, it's to 800. That's it. That would be your support, quote unquote. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see. We'll see. This thing is absolutely on fire. RSI 95, come on. That's not sustainable, guys. We know the drill. Unless they have some, pre-earnings news or something like that, possibly. Let's take a look at Palantir. Palantir on fire, 25.28 currently at the daily. Let's look at the weekly. I got an alert at 27.09. If that does break, then we have a gap here at 31.27. That's what I'm looking for. So again, above 27.09, we can play the calls all the way to 31.27. We're just not there yet. So we just have to wait a little bit, but it's a beautiful breakout. And that's what we like to see from Palantir. Good old Tesla. You're holding. In terms of the stock or in terms of options? Because we had the 195 calls on Monday. And of course, it pulls back on Tuesday. You have headlines. You have a price cut of the Model Y. You have CPI. And then you have a little bit of a bounce as they unveil the new Model 3. Elon gets 20% of the company in terms of what he's holding. I guess that's they put in a 13F on what he's holding. We got the spike to 194.64. and now here we are. We're up about $1. Could we get back to 195.03? Yeah, but it's all about timing. That's really it. You would think this is a great short, right, to the downside, but it's just not going to make it easy. Still have that gap fill here at 205.42. I still think Tesla has more room to go higher, but it's got to get above 196.91. That's really it. Let's see. You're talking about Arcady. If you're talking about the premium signal on Tesla, that was closed -80. Had to get out. Yes, everyone was, freaking out over it. We were in the money on Monday. What can we do? And it fell. The premiums are already hit on those. If you're talking about Masterclass, the 192.50s, that's for next week. That's going to hit. You're going to have to wait on that. We were actually in the money yesterday, but for premium signals, unfortunately, no, because of the rejection of 195 pre-market on Monday. We didn't even get a chance to close. We were green on it. Just unfortunate. I don't like to use the word unfair because we're all in the market. Fair is relative. AMD in the money, 180 this morning, and we were ready to go to close it. And that's exactly what I said. I said we would get a gap up pre-market, get to 180. We did. We just pulled back. So we're rechecking this breakout here that we had the recent highs of 177.38 would look like to be a false breakout, and then pulled back with Tuesday's CPI. We're bouncing off it. We'll get to 180. It's a beautiful wedge breakout, guys. 184.58 to 184.92 is the next target. All you got to do really just stay above 175. So you see that we pulled back yesterday. We retested that trend line and then continued higher. So I still like AMD for more room, and we'll see if we can keep playing it. Yeah, we're in the AMD calls. Meta, I had an alert at 474.76. Really need to get above 480 next. I should have put that alert there. 480, again, expensive. Then you could do 490 to 500. But the problem is expensive. Can you also speak about the retail sales this morning? Yeah, let's go over the numbers. We're going to go to the blog here. Let's see. Retail sales minus 0.6% versus 0.4% previous. Estimated was 0.2. So a miss across the board. But the jobless claims were better than expected. 212,000 jobs versus 218,000 jobs. Continuing jobless claims, 1.895 million versus 1.871 million. So a little higher on the continual claims, but initial jobless claims is better than expected. So the labor market's doing well. But the retail sales, again, that's probably just demand coming down. So we got the retail sales miss, demand declining. Finally, the good news is that this right here is going to bring lower prices. And that's what really everyone wants. You can't expect prices to fall if demand is still up. It doesn't work that way. We need demand to fall. We need people to stop buying stuff and stop doing things if you really want prices to come down. And how does that happen? With a recession, people not working, that sort of thing. Do we really want that so we can save 30 cents on gas? Probably not. But that's just the reality of the situation. The retail sales number is not too concerning because this is what the market wanted. That's why the market is green this morning. They wanted lower demand because it's the inflationary price pressures from CPI on Tuesday. And the CPI number that we had on Tuesday was better than last month. It was lower. The problem is the expectations, guys. Remember, expectations is the key. Everyone has expectations. Are they going to beat? Are they going to raise? There's no such thing as just bad numbers. It's just expectations and really the kind of the perspective of it. To some, retail sales being down is great. To some, retail sales being down is awful. If you are a retail company selling apparel and you see retail sales are going down, you're not exactly cheering it. So again, in the collective, in terms of how traders are looking at things, yeah, this is, I guess, a positive because prices will go down, inflation will tick down. Let's see. What do you think about SoFi 5 to 10 years? The only thing I did read yesterday on SoFi was the possibility, I think this was Upstart, regarding AI loans. Oh boy. In regards to SoFi, the thing with banks is that they're extremely regulated. They're like utilities at this point, ever since the 07, 08 crash. There's a lot of regulation. So SoFi, I can't say that they're a bad company. They seem to be doing okay, at least in terms of earnings. We had a pop and then drop, but looking at the banks, When I think of banks, I just think of regulation, and SoFi has to be very careful regarding their innovation. With regulation, understand regulation suppresses innovation. Regulations to keep things as is. Remember, money. Let's not be crazy with money. Remember, back in the day, we don't want MBS, we don't want any crazy loans or anything like that. But again, with regulation takes away innovation. So what can SoFi do that's within the regulation rules that's going to make them stand out versus a JPM, a Citibank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, that they offer higher interest rates? Yeah, that's great. They don't have any branches? Sure. But what is stopping JPM from offering a high yield savings, for those who don't want a branch? It just seems to me that SoFi doesn't have anything really special that I can't get from Jamie Dimon's JPM that pays a dividend that's at all-time highs or was at all-time highs, great balance sheet, and is intertwined with the global economy. I don't know. I'd rather just be a trader of SoFi. Now, again, if you want a lotto ticket and you think this is going to soar, by all means, go for it. But no, I just think there's better options than SoFi in the banking world than them. It just doesn't seem very appealing. That's all to me. Maybe I'm just being conservative. Coin is on a tear with BTC pushing. Yeah, we have BITO, which is the Bitcoin ETF, because Mara has been absolutely on fire and the prices got crazy with their IV. 2548 on BITO is what we're looking for. In terms of Coinbase, they report earnings today, so be very careful. If we're looking for a possible target, downside target would be 133.25. That's a gap fill. Upside target, possibly 180. Let's take a look at Mara. I still have that one runner, 31.28. If we could break above there, well, then that means Bitcoin is really soaring. And guys, we still have a little more room to go. Mara is just rather pricey as the IV gets juiced. So a part of me wants that to come down a little bit after I get out of my runner, obviously. But yeah, Meta's been absolutely on fire. If we just go to the RSI, which I'm absolutely nervous to see it. Oh, it's not even that overbought yet. So we're hitting our head right on overbought territory, 29.95. I think 31.28 hits. More than likely, we'll probably reject. If it soars above it, we'll keep an eye on it. But this is what Mara is. This is what Bitcoin proxies do. It's going to move like Bitcoin. So if you're someone that says, I don't like that kind of up and down, crazy volatility, stay away from these names because it's going to be killer. If you guys remember Mara from 2 weeks ago, that thing was like minus 85% and then absolutely soared. I still have a runner on it and it's up like 550%. So that's just Mara for you. Are you expecting any big new moves with Nvidia next week? I think everyone is. I think everyone's going to want to short it. And that's what scares me. When everyone's on one side of the fence, up or down, usually you get a kind of a flip where it's not what everyone seems, what everyone thinks. So what do you do here, right? What's kind of the technical analysis here? 700? Really? That's really your support? If you break below 700, we bounced off it on CPI day, that ugly day that we had. So below 700 would be a short, back down to 651, possibly to 632. That's a gap fill. In terms of higher up, it's really, to the imagination, how high you want to go. I mean, we saw how SMCI goes. Maybe Nvidia crushes it and we see it at 1,000. Who knows? It's going to be a difficult one. If you want a lotto ticket, I mean, the 1,000 calls on Nvidia and just close your eyes. If you really want a lotto ticket, you buy the 600 puts for some time. I mean, you have so many ways of doing this. This is what happens when you have parabolic moves on a stock. At least you have some kind of options to somewhat wager on it, but it's not going to be easy because the worst case scenario on Nvidia on their earnings is that it chops around and nothing happens. That will kill call premiums. That'll kill put premiums. The guys who own the stock and that are writing the premiums and selling the premiums, they'd be the ones flush. But for the most part, traders, chop doesn't work. You're welcome, Eric. You're welcome. So that's where we are today. Answer some questions. Silver's up today. Gold is up today. In the Forex market, Euro's up today. Dollar yen rejected 150. Dollar Canadian dollar is down as well. We had crude oil inventories yesterday, higher build than expected. Crude is kind of doing sideways here. Bitcoin continues to go higher like we expected. So I think we just ride this train while we can. So let's do the best we can today. It is a Thursday. CNA, I went ahead and posted a note on watches and charts for anyone who is interested from premium and masterclass of all of our trades open. So just like a morning update. So you guys don't have to wait for the morning note for those in the market. And in our server, I'll just let you guys know there. So if you guys are interested in joining, make sure to go to our website, www.gar.capital, choose free plan. Here's the website. You go to access our Discord. Here's our website, gar.capital. And then right here, free plan. Click there. And then all you do is get back into here, into our block, and it'll be free forever. So we hope to see you on board there. Have a great rest of your morning. We will see you guys tomorrow for the next morning note. Cheers.